Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Down the Rabbit Hole. My name is Breezy, and today we are going to be talking about the brief history of LaGrange, Georgia, and MARTA. Now, you're probably wondering, why the hell am I talking about this? Also, why do I sound like I am dying right now? I feel like I'm dying. But, with that being said, um, this is episode 165. I currently have a cold, and yes, I literally feel like hell right now. But I also have to work tomorrow, so I'm trying to get as much of this recorded as possible since I literally spent 2 days laying in bed on it. And quite frankly, be honest with y'all, I'm tired of lying in bed. Now, with that being said, if you're new here, hit that like button, ring that bell for notifications. Also, please subscribe. But LaGrange is a city in the county seat of Troup County, Georgia. And the population of the city is estimated about 30,000, give or take. Now, it's the principal city of LaGrange, and which is included in the Atlanta, Sandy Springs, Gainesville, Georgia, Alabama combined statistical area. It's about 60 miles southwest of Atlanta, located on the foothills of the Georgia Piedmont. It is also home to LaGrange College, one of the oldest private colleges in the state. Um, it started as a girls' academy and became affiliated since the 19th century with the Methodist Church, and is now in North Georgia Conference of the United Methodist Church. Now, the city's proximity to West Point Lake is a few points to the west, helping attract bass fishermen and everything. Now, let's talk briefly about the history of the place. Um, so, LaGrange is named after the country estate near Paris of the wife of Marquez de Lafayette. When Lafayette, a Revolutionary War hero, visited Georgia in 1825 on a national tour, he remarked of the similarity of the local topography to his wife's property. Now, the European American settlement of LaGrange began in the 19th century, soon after the territory was ceded to the U.S. by the Creek and Indians territorial legislature established. Now, the city was incorporated in December 1828, and the area developed as cotton plantations, and the planters were migrating to the eastern areas, and the South um, brought enslaved African Americans to the domestic slaves. Now, by 1860, Troup County had the fourth wealthiest county in Georgia based on the cotton commodity crop. It was the fifth largest slaveholding county in the state of the county seat, and LaGrange was the center of the trade and of this prosperous area. Wealth planners built from more than 100 significant homes in the city. Now, during the American Civil War, LaGrange was finished by a volunteer women's auxiliary group known as the Nancy Harts or the Nancy Hart Rifles, named after Nancy Hart, obviously. Now, after defeating the Confederates in nearby West Point, Georgia, um, Colonel Oscar H. LaGrange led his troops to the county seat of LaGrange, to the Confederate prisons. Although local assorts were burned and looted by Union troops, Colonel LaGrange spared the private homes of LaGrange, including Bellevue, the home of former U.S. Senator and then Confederate Senator Benjamin Harvey Hill, a slave owner. LaGrange may have been returning positive treatment, which he had received while in captivity. Now, he had been given medical care by the Confederates and was attended by a niece of Senator Hill, a recovery, and Colonel LaGrange was in exchange for his Confederate prisoner, and he returned to battle duty. Now, to show her gratitude for sparing her home, one of Nancy's Hart hosted a dinner for the colonel, and he paroled some of the local prisoners so they could attend. Now, many women of the town cooked all night to provide the meal, and the next morning the federal troops marched off. Um, and they were soon released when it was learned that General Robert E. Lee had Um, surrendered. Now, in the 19th century, um, LaGrange developed as a railway center and the industrial center of the region. In the 20th century, it gradually was much more textile and manufacturing and moved offshore. Now, let's talk about why you really clicked on this episode. It wasn't so you could hear history of LaGrange, Georgia. No, it was so you can hear about something called MARTA. And what is MARTA, you may ask? Well, this is a Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority and one of the ways of transportation. And it's believed that it's haunted by a ghost figure that you can see, um, and everything. So, but it was a young. Rumor has it a young man boarded a train. It was oddly dressed. His clothes were flashy, and his hair is tied up in a scarf on his head. He walked down the aisle seat, and he would glance over. He was wearing house shoes and carrying a bunch of shopping bags, notably from Steve Madden. Now, the man was slumped down in his seat, appeared to doze off. Not wanting to stare, I looked out the window and looked at my phone, and the train rumbled at East Point Station. Now, as the train ground to a stop, the passenger would start to get up, but turned his head and see that there was no one sitting next to him. Crazy, right? But yeah, but some say it's not haunted, but if I believe it's haunted, I'm a believer in ghosts, and everything. But yeah, but that is it for this episode. I will see y'all next time. I should be feeling better next week. I plan to have more episodes recorded for y'all. I do promise that. But I just need some rest, guys. I'll see you later.